Hello, welcome to the Greenhouse. It's 4:20. It is me, Rob Mulholland, your host every week. If you've been watching Living La Vida Lockdown through lockdown, this is what it is. Same thing. We're having a chat. I'm getting high with my friends. That's what we're doing. 4:20 every Monday from now on. Today's going to be an absolute banger. Got some proper top guys on. To my side, you will see Archie Maddocks. Good to see you, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, good, bro. I'm all right. How are you?
Good, mate. I'm very good indeed. And down below, we have returning Funmbi Omatayo. How you doing, man?
What's going on, man? I'm good. We did a gig last night, so yeah.
Yeah, we did. Me and Funmbi did a little Zoom gig together last night for.
Rob's doubling up on Zoom, you know.
Yeah, man. I had a fucking Zoom double. Nah, I was actually.
I had a double on Friday. It was fucking weird because I was stressed like it was a proper double.
No, man. It's like you don't have to get on the bus or anything. Yeah, you just press a different button, innit?
Yeah.
No,
I been heckled in the Zoom gig.
Did you? Like in the comments?
Yeah. It's the fucking worst. No, because like someone don't turn off their microphone. They ask questions. I'm like, oh, fuck off, man. Do this later.
Yeah, that's mad. I don't read the chats. I don't read because it's distracting, man. If it pops up.
Yeah, I can't concentrate on anything else. I've just got to look down the barrel of the camera and just go. And like, I will look if there's like, I like the Zoom gigs where there's like people on the screen that I can watch for laughter. But the problem last night was the only people on the actual Zoom were comics. And none of us give a fuck about watching each other. So, you know, we were all like trying to be like,
yeah. But it's like, you know.
We don't laugh properly, do we? We laugh at different shit.
Like, different comics, we laugh at the shit that's like, oh, that was clever. But you know, the funny shit, that's funny, innit?
Yeah. Or like, and we don't even laugh. We just go,
shit.
That's good. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I laugh at the stuff that's fucking terrible, and I laugh like it's the funniest shit in the world. And then that comic was like, oh, this is good. Then and I'm like, nah, it's not.
The absolute worst sign for a comedian is if the comedians are laughing.
Oh yeah, if comedians are enjoying your shit, they're lying to you, man.
Like
if comedians are fuming during your performance, you are killing it.
That's it. I always look to see if the comics leave. I'm like,
it's murdering.
Gets in there.
Like there is.
You can't take it.
There is like a level you can get to where you hit it so hard that the comics will come out of the green room to watch, but you've got to be going like 30 years to get that level of respect. You've got to be like one of the fucking greats. Like, you know, I love you guys. I'm staying in the fucking green room when you're on. Like, you guys are fucking funny.
I would want to stay in the green room for my performance as well. I would much rather do that.
You know, the funny thing, when you do the store, especially in London, you see the comics come up by the side. That's when you're killing.
Yeah.
If they would just kind of come up by the side, just to wish that evil on you, just to we troops up at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I do still enjoy watching comedy. Like if I've not seen someone for a bit and I know that they rotate their material, I'll watch them. Like, but you know, if I hear a bit that I know, I'm going fucking sitting down. Like,
it's hard for you to. It's so. I prefer watching new material nights. Those are the best times you can enjoy comedy, man.
Yeah.
Just to see people jump out the fucking window, you're like, wow, he really thought that was the shit.
Yeah. Oh man, and like that. Yeah,
you're doing this act out for 10 minutes, bro.
You see all the stuff before the crowd has edited it for you. Like when you think, oh no, there's fucking 20 minutes in this, and it turns out it's a one-liner. But you've got to sail those 20 minutes to find that shit out. Yeah, I absolutely fucking
love
it.
the ones where you could clearly see they've been watching TV and they just bring that persona to like 6 men in a pub.
Like full on trying to Chris Rock it with new material.
Yeah. I love it, man. Yeah. But you know, I envy it too because they're fearless in it. You know what I mean? You're going and they're trying to make sure your words connect and get that deep insight to your material. And it's like, but they're just taking it as that I thought this was fun.
Yeah, I think you've got to do that with like new material though, innit? Like a lot of it's that leap of faith. And that's why I really love it. Like those are like the most exciting gigs are when you do new stuff and it flies. Like I started before lockdown. It's really annoying. I was on a fucking purple patch. I'd never felt better on stage. And I was in weekend gigs, I was doing new stuff because like I didn't tell anyone it was new. You just do it there and in the environment that it's meant to live rather than doing it at new material. I love new material nights, but they're different vibe. Whereas if you can drop on a Friday night in Leeds in a fucking nightclub, if you can drop a bit there and it works, fucking that feeling, man. Oh, I miss that. You know, there's nothing better than a new bit connecting, is it?
Nah, man. When it flies, it feels like magic, man. It feels like you're floating on them normal laughs. And then the worst thing for me is where you get a new bit and it's never as good as that first time you've done it well.
Probably
never the same.
Mate, have you ever had one of those bits that tricks you where the first time you say it, it murders, and then it never even works after that?
Yeah, that's every bit.
I had one bit that went so well one time that I said it for 6 months and it never got shit. But I was like, nah,
and you have that...
I had it. It was there. The idea was there.
You have that little bit of hope as well, don't you? Just
every time.
Nah, you lot are wrong. You lot are wrong.
Yeah.
I know this is funny. I saw them laugh.
Yeah.
But yeah,
for my special, I started in February.
Yeah. Black and British. It's on YouTube. Check it out.
Yes, check it out. I did 55 new material nights.
Wow.
Trust me, by the time you get if you listen to the first recording and to be you actually get the material, you actually think you're a genius. It improves so much. And so when I'll get to clubs, I'd have so much material, I forget where to put stuff, and I'm just, oh my God, but I've got this and I've got that and I've got that. So it was a really good feeling, and you can just add to your... Mate, it was just a really good exercise, man.
When you've worked up a special like that was my favourite time to be on stage. When that special was done and it wasn't quite out, and I was just I didn't feel guilty about doing it yet, the material on stage, but I had the whole hour to play with because mine wasn't a show; it was an hour of jokes. So at some gigs, I'll be like, you know what, I'll do this 20 minutes, and then I could do this 20 minutes, and that is a luxury you get after a while. Man, do you remember what it was like when you had 10 minutes and you had to do 10 minutes, and no matter what audience was in front of you, that's the 10 minutes they're getting.
Yeah.
Mate,
I went from 5 to 12. Yeah, I say 5 to 12. It was 5. It was an extended 6. You know when you're cramming in trash to get to 12?
Oh,
that's how, but you need that 12 minutes. But then when you do 20s for a while, and then you go to Angel and they say, can you do 5? You're like, what the hell is 5?
Listen, you need fucking London comics. I can't remember the last time I did 5.
What's a 5 gonna how am I gonna get a 5 up?
You get
when you first started, you're if they said 7 minutes, you're like, what?
How am I gonna solve for 7? Yeah, whereas now, if I'm doing fucking 5 or 7, it just feels like you've said hello. It just feels like you've walked on, gone hello, and then you've got to leave.
Yeah.
I hope this doesn't sound arrogant, but I just won't go. If it's 5 minutes, I'm that's not going to do nothing for me.
Yeah,
it's not going to do nothing.
Yeah, because I've got to drive 40 miles as well between gigs. I'm not getting on the tube like you guys.
That's not even a bit. That's teasing the audience. And
that's it.
I'm like, he thinks he's special, giving us 5 minutes of comedy.
Mate,
what?
if I write a bit now and it's 5, it's not finished.
No, it's not even started.
I think I'm in my own head. If someone goes, "Ooh, do you want to do 5?" I get annoyed, and I'm like, "Who the fuck do you think you are for me 5 minutes? I could do a fucking hour here. It wouldn't be a problem."
5 minutes.
Yeah. We might have to be fair though, we might have to start taking 5s just to get back. They might have to work our way back up. We're gonna.
I reckon we'll be doing 5 gigs in one night, just hour gigs. It's just audiences will be queuing up for each gig.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of shows. Yeah, I think that's going to be how it's going to go. Just moving people through.
I'm more skeptical, man. I think people think there's going to be loads of shows, and then actually there's going to be only 20 people for the store turning up, just because they're I don't want everyone to fucking come. And then you're doing it's just the front 2 rows. I think the first couple of weeks is going to be horrible.
Yeah, I think it's going to be weird, and there's going to be a transition, definitely. But I do think people are champing at the bit. People are ready to go, man.
People are planning seaside trips right now, and they don't give a damn. Yeah. And they're cramming themselves on beaches, in parks. People are playing football right now.
Yeah, but you got to remember that's outside. But if we're doing gigs outside, then I think it's different. But asking people to go into a basement when realistically this might be winter. In winter, when there's going to be, if one person coughs, that whole place is empty.
It is true.
What if it's the Comet? Excuse me.
Yeah,
whoa!
Exactly. Fucking no way, mate.
Yeah, I think I'm going to start selling some T-shirts that say "Stoner, not Corona" for anyone who's got a smoker's cough. But that is true. People are edgy and nervous, but the people who are going to come out are the people who don't give a fuck. And there are a lot of them about. There's a lot of people who just do not give a shiny shit. And we only need a small percentage of people to want to go to the comedy club.
Audience, right?
Exactly. And luckily, that's my audience. My audience are reckless idiots.
Can you imagine the state of that show? It would just be every show would be a 2 a.m. show. It's just going to be fucking mental.
Yeah, I'm down for it. That's when I thrive. I'm not like a clever comedian, so...
It's all the corona material you have to worry about, man. Everybody's rinsing out the corona bars and lockdown bars.
Yeah, I do them on Zoom gigs. But...
We've gone through so much stuff in the last couple of months that the amount of guys that are going to come out of a Black Lives Matter joke, and then women in comedy industry getting fucking sexually attacked. There's going to be the most amount of edgelord jokes that I'm just going to be like, I don't have time for this.
Luckily for me, I went to a Black Lives Matter march 4 years ago, so that material's running around now.
Yeah, man. Like, I love that when that happens, when you just got a bit that
people think I'm a prophet.
Yeah. Well, good thing is, mate, like, luckily, I don't think black people having to protest is going to stop anytime soon. Unfortunately, I feel like that might come back around again.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I'm just keeping that one. I'm writing an updated version. I've been waiting for racism to happen in lockdown football. Can you imagine that?
Mate, they'll put that up on the camera so clearly on the microphone. Like, we could have done with that, man. Like, we had a Leeds player this year, like, full on, basically Kiko Casilla, Leeds United's goalkeeper.
He's fucking racist, man.
Crazy racist. Like, he full on, he called Jonathan Leaco from Charlton a fucking N-word. He dropped an N-bomb straight up and, like, didn't even dispute it. What he says is he didn't know what the word meant. Right. Mate, it gets worse.
I just like rap music.
Yeah, well, that was one of the things they asked him in the case. They were like, but here's you listening to rap. Like, you know what it means. And also, why did you choose that word if you didn't know what it means? And then,
it's not like saying my friend, is it? You know what you're trying to do.
It's not like, and even I imagine in Spain, there's quite a close equivalent. Like, I would be wary of those genre of words if I was speaking a different language. But then he said he didn't know what the word meant until like 3 months later at the hearing. So his story is he got accused of saying this word. And after the game, when someone went, oh, they're saying that you said this, he went, okay. And then 3 months later, he went, oh, by the way, what did that mean? The first thing you ask is, like, if you don't know what the word, right, if we're being kind enough to him, which this is definitely not true, he definitely just fucking said it, but if we're even being kind enough to think that he didn't know what it meant, you ask straight away.
Yeah. And how often have you said that to your other teammates when you're angry?
This is it. It's not like Leeds United is an all-white team. It's a modern football team, so it's mixed racially, and it was a genuinely shameful episode at the club. I sincerely hope everyone involved fucks right off out of Leeds United.
Is he still in the club?
He's still in the club. He's suspended at the moment, and I hope he doesn't.
But not for racism, though.
No, he is. He is. Like, he's
for racism?
For that, he was convicted by the FA.
Cool.
Yeah, he was convicted by the FA and fined, but he's still employed by Leeds United, and I don't think he should be. And it's
you had a poor result on the weekend, didn't you?
Mate, yeah, we had a bad one yesterday. Luckily, everyone around us had a bad one as well. But yeah. So it's been grim. To be fair, Archie, you're an Arsenal fan, aren't you?
Oh, fuck off, mate. I
saw Archie's face sink as soon as you brought up football then. Funmbi's just happy because Newcastle have had one fucking good game, finally.
Joe Linton's finally scored at home. Well done.
40 million, and we're clapping him for scoring his first home goal in a lockdown period.
Done.
Well done. Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Yeah. It's been weird watching the games, hearing that fake audience in the background, right?
It just feels like playing FIFA, isn't it? Like, it's the same sort of, eerily not quite right. Do you watch it with the noise or not?
Rob, yeah, but funny enough, Rob, the fans not being there's actually helped us.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
They don't get onto you after 5 minutes.
Yeah. It's going to help a lot of teams. And then you see what teams are actually shit, which has made me go, oh, Arsenal are actually shit.
Because you thought it was the atmosphere, didn't you?
Yeah. I thought,
it's actually the team.
And then I was like, oh, no, shit, we're just shit. Okay.
No, Guendouzi just can't pass. Yeah.
I thought it was us. It's definitely you.
Yeah.
I realised that because the fans get when Jolinton missed that chance in the first half, the fans would have destroyed his whole confidence.
Well, because you've got 50,000 people in a stadium going, oh, fucking hell. Yeah. And it's a thing I've thought about with Leeds is that I hope in the running, because we're like that, we're nervy because we've fucked it up loads of times.
Yeah,
so as soon as something goes against us, the whole stadium goes just all the air sucks out of it, and it's a horrible place. So I think us not being there will help in the running. I hope, because we can, like, you know, it can be the best place in the world, and like it was what was a bit sad before this. Like the atmosphere was the best I'd ever felt at Ellen Road. Was in the 5 games before lockdown, which started winning every game. Like we were playing, and we were like, oh, we're doing this, and like the belief was there for the first time ever. And then now we had Cardiff away. That's all it was. It was Cardiff away. We always lose there. So
no, I think you'll get promoted.
I do too. I'm shit scared, but yeah.
I think the teams in the bottom in the relegation struggle. It's the worst place to be because they need their fans. You need that 6 man. You need that support. You know?
Yeah. And you realise how important they are as well. Like, did you watch the Merseyside derby yesterday?
I didn't actually, because like I was about to turn it on, and everyone was just like, "This game's shit." So I was like,
I was like,
if it's a derby, it makes no difference now because the fans are the ones that make it.
Yeah.
If there's no 1,000 people calling you a cunt, you're just gonna be like, "I'm just gonna pass the ball now."
You don't get that riled up feeling of a derby.
I'm gonna express myself. You're gonna see Hendo doing stepovers.
This is it, man. I think a bit of that blood and thunder is going to go a bit. Like what I noticed from watching Cardiff was they didn't have their supporters trying to get them to come out and attack at all. So they just sat in the box, their entire team, for the entire game. And I think that's something we're going to see, like more negative tactics, not because your crowd isn't going, they're at home. Normally a home crowd, if you know, no matter who you're playing, you're like, fucking go and have a go at some point. So I think that's going to be a thing that it worries me because that's what every team does to Leeds because we're fucking better than them.
Have you noticed as well, every team, as soon as they lose the ball, they don't even try and win it back. They just go sit back. Every team, even Man City, they're just like, we're just going to sit in. It's like a friendly. Every match is like a friendly.
Well, like it's that bit of rhythm's gone, innit? It's like it does have that feel of like a bit pre-season.
They're not fit. They're playing pre-season football
and
no matter
how fit you are physically, you lose those, like, it's like us being on stage, you know, when you just get into the rhythm and like when you're gigging all the time, it's just easier because it's muscle memory. Same thing for footballers, you know, like they just know where their teammates are and just feel it, and like that's the thing that'll take a while to come back. So
can you overgig?
Nah.
You don't think so?
Yes, definitely.
Not I can't.
I was running out of steam before lockdown. I was proper running out of steam and being like, I can't say these fucking words anymore. I need a break. And I'm like, I don't want to take a break, but I need a break. And then when lockdown came, I was like, oh, thank you. This is all I needed. And now it's kind of dragging.
You can go too hard, to be fair, but like I really enjoy like really intense like gigging. Like I did 133 gigs at One Edinburgh in like, what's that, 25 days? Like I love that shit. Like,
that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. I did one day where I did 9 gigs and that was too many. By the 9th one, I was like, I just don't give a fuck about these people. It was just gone.
And you don't know what you said either, because like I remember I did a joke 3 times in one set because I'd done like 7 gigs.
Yeah,
and I did the same joke 3 times, and then by the 3rd time I think they thought that it was a bit that I was going to call back to.
Yeah.
And I was like, sorry, I didn't realise I did it 3 times. There's no reason for it. I'm just tired.
Mate, I've been in the middle of a bit, like, have I said this before? And, like, I had to, like, sort of had a weird out-of-body thing where I was listening to myself saying the bit, trying to work out if I had, but then I was like, they're laughing, though, so I haven't. So, like, it's the only way I could tell. I had no idea. I was just like... Oh.
I did 5 in one night, but I did 5 in one night, and that was too much.
Yeah, for me, the danger of overgigging is when you come out of yourself and you're looking like it does feel like an out of body experience.
You know, when
you're looking from the side.
By the 3rd one, you're like, they're laughing and you're like, man, but the last audience are way better than you lot.
Yeah, that is true. You also get like one in the day that is like the sick one, and then all the other ones are a bit disappointing after that, and you're like, you're not giving that one.
Do you know what, Rob? You got to, if I'm doing like 3 or 4 gigs in a night, I start the first 2 very, very low. Like I just set the bar low because if you kill the first 2, even if you kill the first one, there's nowhere else to go. You're going down for the rest of the night. Mate,
that is a better strategy than me. Like I'm like, I have no strategy though with stuff like that. I'm like, if I'm on stage, I'm trying to kill. Literally always. Right. Like there is never a point. I feel
like you can't kill an audience, 2 audiences, you can't kill and then kill more and then kill more and then kill more.
You've clearly not watched me through an evening, mate.
I just feel like once you kill the first one, your expectations are gonna be like that for every single room now.
Yeah, but that's my expectations always, man.
But there's certain places where you have that anyway, right? Like if you do the comedian gigs on the weekends, you do the early show and the late show. I'm like, the late show is going to be fucking banging. So I feel like every show goes up a notch the longer that you're there.
Right.
Whereas other shows, I'm like, I don't want to do too well at one because then I'm like, yeah, that's it.
If you're in the same place, what I like is if you like, because it feels like you always want to be doing a good job and justifying your position there, basically, because that's the industry we're in. You don't want to be fucking up all the time. So like, if I've got multiple gigs in the same venue, if I murder the first one, I'm dead happy because it feels like right, I've done it now. If I have a shit one now, I can be like, yeah, but earlier,
yeah, that's
gives
the
you that
thing.
free
I try
hit.
and make sure the first one's good, just so that everyone goes, this weren't a mistake. And then after, I kind of like relax a bit. But then that being said, if I starting to die, I will fucking throw the whole gig just for my own entertainment.
Yeah, you see, you're different to me on that. I'll try and fix it, but now you're like
No, I'll be like, fuck this gig, fuck all of you. I hope you have the worst evening. Some of you will die tonight, and I'll be happy about it. Like, I start saying all this shit. And then whoever's MCing, they're like, well, that happens. And I'm like, yeah.
And then the guy after you is like, man, fuck my Archie Maddocks.
I've done that a few times, to be fair. I have smoked a few gigs. Like, I've had a couple where I've had like a serious chat with an audience at the end of my set. Like, I opened a gig at a working men's club in Huddersfield, where at the end of it, I sat down on a stool and I was like, right, after this, you're going to have a break and you're all going to talk about how you all think I'm a bit shit. But I can tell you, I'm not. I do this 5 nights a week, and I can tell you for a fact, you're shit. Right? And I was like, go have a drink, loosen the fuck up, because at the moment, you're just staring at me, and it's rude. And like, I just had to talk to them, and I don't know if it got any better. I left, obviously, but...
no, I love that. I love when a gig is going so badly, but your stuff is fucking fire. I just love it, because I will sit down and go, you know what? It's you. It's not me.
It often is.
At this point, yeah. You're fucking wrong, and I'll tell you the reasons why. That was funny, and there's probably some weird thing going on here where you don't get it. That was really good, and you didn't get that either, so you're probably fucking dumb. And I just go through every bit of my set and just tell them why they're wrong.
Yeah, but it gets to a point, though, where if you've performed those jokes in front of thousands of people, like loads of times, and they've all pissed themselves, and then suddenly these 20 people in Coventry aren't laughing at it, like, I'm going to assume it's 20 dumb people in Coventry, not that I'm shit, Like,
it's like doing the festivals. That's the only thing that can get you through a festival. You do the festival. The cool thing about the festival gigs is when you're on before like a TV act, or you're on after a TV act, and TV act's doing their thing, and the whole tent is packed. As soon as that TV act leaves, the whole tent empties.
Brutal, man. What I learned is always go on before the big name. I went on after Paul Smith because I was like, I'm not going to go on before him because all his fans will be, like fucking crazy. But then there'll be people there, blah, blah, blah. The tent will be full then. But yeah, I made Sam Gore switch with me, and like Sam went up first and had a fucking great gig because it was full. And then Paul went on, murdered. They all left, and I played to 5 people who hated me. Man, like that is, I've been missing music festivals, but not for the fucking gigs at them. Like, gigs at music festivals are always the worst. Like,
I won't do them anymore. I've done like 10 in a row, and I was like, you know what? I'm not. This ain't fun. This is the worst. I don't like festivals anyway. I think they're dirty. I think the people are dirty, and I just don't want to be near.
See, I like it because I'm dirty.
I know you are, but I don't like shitting in a fucking trough like a pig. I don't like it.
I got asked if I was selling drugs, and it was like a V festival, innit? And I got asked like 2 or 3 times by these happy white kids, and I was just like, man, I wish someone told me that black people sell drugs here, man. I could have made a fortune.
Yeah, man, it's like a fucking advertising billboard, isn't it?
I'd have made more than the gig was paying, I'm like, shit.
Man, like V Festival, don't judge festivals on that, though. V Festival is the festival for people who don't like festivals. It's like, it's V Festivals for people who watch E4. Like, that's who it's for. It's not like, it's all pop and stuff. It's shit. But yeah, they are.
It's not happening no more.
Is it not? Is it gone?
Yeah, it's gone now.
Fair enough. But yeah, I fucking love a festival, man. Like, Beat Herd is my favourite. It's a 3-day rave in the Lancashire Hills, and it's fucking incredible. But yeah, like...
I'd be thinking I get fucking lynched or something, bro. I'll be thinking, this is where the EDL are going to rock up, take me away.
For black people to go on something like that, it has to be like a Cancun getaway. It's a hotel thing, and then we move to the club. But no,
I was there with Annette Fagan, man. Like...
Yeah, and
yeah,
that's
she's
special.
black. Yeah, she is special.
And
though.
that's special.
Yeah.
That's special.
She's
Yeah, but even racists would run up to Annette and go, nah, I'm
good.
Yeah, it does. Look, it does skew heavily white, but I would say everyone's tripping too hard to be properly a dickhead. But yeah, like it is like they're none you've ever enjoyed. You're just not into the whole vibe of it. No.
Don't like
Funmbi
it.
Festival, because the time I went, they had Rihanna and then they had Jay-Z as well.
That's not bad, is it?
Yeah, I got the homies to come down. I got like I asked off the curb for 9 guest passes, and they gave me 9.
Fucking hell.
That's good, man.
9. I was just being, because all the men they were messaging me, Funmbi, we have to come.
Yeah.
So they all came down to
they want to come to that gig, innit?
Yeah, it was a good night.
Yeah, like
I won't let my friends come to other gigs. They've come to 2 gigs, and both times everyone else has got scared. I'll be like, do you know what? I can't have you here with your loud laughs. Intimidating the audience.
Do you think they came to watch me? They came at the end of my set.
Yeah.
They were out there having a great time. They were out there having a good time. They didn't care about me.
Yeah, no one gives a fuck about that, man. Like,
you know, when you tell your friends to come and see you perform, is it new jokes? Man, just come to the show, man. Yeah. Like, is it new jokes? I don't go to your job place like, was it the same chair you're going to use all the time?
I don't really invite friends, man. They're welcome to come, but like, I don't push it at all. Like, I don't care.
But you know what? I get friends when just gigging at 99 tonight. Get friends DM, no invite? It's like, what do you think this is? Like, this is me going to work.
Yeah, this is it, man. Like, people think like every day you're going to go, oh, right, I'm in Leicester today. Who do I know in Leicester? Let's invite them all. No, I'm doing this every fucking night. Like, it's yours. Fucking follow me on Twitter. Or like, I put out all my dates on my website. If you want to know where I am, fucking look at that. Google it, you cunt. Like, why is it my responsibility?
I might be doubling. I don't want to have you to come to me. You ain't going to hang out afterwards. Like, no, I've got another show to do.
And most of the time,
also,
I'll be on with comedians who I like more than you.
Like, if you're asking to come, I think don't come. That's what I think for anyone who's like, oh, can I come to your show? Don't come.
Just don't bother.
Don't even ask that question.
Yeah. It's like my girlfriend fully does not come to gigs. Like, she just doesn't care. She's not interested. She's like bored of my shit. Like, she doesn't find my stand-up funny. It's not her vibe. Like, she likes really weird alternative comedy, and she finds me funny in person, but like my stand-up couldn't really give a fuck, and I love that. It's great. Like,
my girlfriend, she still comes to a lot of the gigs, but she watches everyone else except me, which I'm like, because she still loves comedy. She still loves watching it.
Yeah, just not yours.
Just my stuff. Yeah, she's like, heard this. Don't need that again. No.
Yeah.
And it's fair. Like, it's a lot of it's about her as well, isn't it?
I find also that they come with so much nerves. It gets onto you. You're like, relax. They're like, oh, I'm really worried for you, because it's the first time they've seen you perform, and they just want you to do good because they're your friend. You're like, I can handle this. Don't worry. Yeah,
and like the problem is as well is like, look, we all have shitty gigs, and like, but your mates aren't gonna get that. You're like, the audience was shit tonight. They were a bit like weird. Whatever, the venue was a bit of an odd shape, and it just didn't help the gig, and it didn't quite flow. So it was a bit of a fucking mediocre set. They just think that's how it always is. Like, that happened with my missus. Like, first, she did come to some gigs at the start. First 4 she came to were just dog shit gigs. And like after that, she was like, after the 4th one, she was like, have you ever thought about being like a graphic designer or something? And I was like, no, right, those weren't representative. The 5th one she came to, she was like, that was amazing. I was like, that was a normal one. Like, this is my job, right? You don't get it if you're shite. That thing of them being nervous for you, there's nothing worse. Like, I remember really early on dying horrifically in front of an ex and just seeing her face full of worry and pity.
Yeah, don't worry, man. It's like riding a bike. I have to get back up again.
Yeah, you just got to get, like, but they don't really understand that. I don't think normal people understand the level of damage that causes us to do these things.
I don't think so, no. I think people... Yeah, it's so funny, people's response to comedy. They think you make it up on the spot. And
I do sometimes.
I thought you make it up. I thought you made everything up on the spot. It's like, really? Or when you tell them like mock the week is written. Really?
Oh, that blows their minds. Like,
they just came up with it. Yeah, everybody came up with such witty, creative lines.
Yeah, like that's it. Yeah, everyone's just got fucking 8 jokes on every topic off the top of the dome.
Just woo!
Like that kind of annoys me. It kind of devalues what we do because like it's fucking hard to like craft a really good bit.
And that's why I don't. That's what, because people say when you tell them that, like, oh, I feel a bit disappointed, and it's like, can you write 2 lines yourself, just 2?
Yeah. You write 30 seconds of good comedy, and then see how hard that is. Then have a look at my fucking hour. Yeah. Like, tell you who needs more respect in society: comedians. Right, that's it. That's the new political stance I'm gonna fucking go for, man.
It takes a lot to write a good joke, man.
Yeah,
it takes a lot.
Man, I can't wait to do it again.
A good joke is fucking gold dust. For me,
it's rare.
Yeah, I'm talking about just a joke where there's no fucking problem in it at all. There's no fat,
bulletproof,
nothing.
Yeah. No fat, just
just.
And it's so rare. It's so rare those land in your lap. Like once a year, I will get a joke that comes to me that is just fully formed, and I can never make it better. Most things are basically
you have to iron it out.
Yeah, well, most of my material starts with me having a thought that I know I definitely shouldn't. So if I go, when you sort of correct yourself, when you have like an instinctive thought, and then you go, nope, that's not what we think. Those instinctive thoughts, I'll talk about them, all the horrible things, and then they start out upsetting people, and then I find out which bits are funny and which bits are just funny to me. And then I just sort of have to contract it, and then I'll add another bit on, and it's just like they get longer and shorter, man, until they find a form. Sort of like grow and like that. Like I love that. I can't wait to get back to doing that. That's what I really miss. I always am working on a bit, and I haven't been for a while.
Yeah.
And like
for me, the best feeling is where I have I start off with an idea that goes into a 6-minute bit, and then that gets whittled down and down and down into 30 seconds, and then that becomes part of another bit that then ends up being about 5. And I'm like, that whole thing was just one thought, and that's the funny thing.
Yeah, but
for me, that's the most exciting.
Yeah, and like when you realise that, oh no, it's not a bit by itself; it's part of this one, and it just fits together. And like that bit is just like it's like a transformer. It's just like got more powerful because it's got this extra.
Absolutely, you can take literally one idea, and you can have like even a punchline. Like I had a punchline with him. I'm not being funny. Why do people open with that? You never get to the end of the conversation and be like, that was kind of funny, And that was that's just what I thought about. And then I managed to stick it onto a whole routine. And you're thinking to yourself, look at me with my 7 minutes.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I fucking love that bit. But like the feeling of like starting one of those bits, like I really miss my old closer, and I'm tempted after this because I'm going to start again with a new 20 after COVID. It feels weird going back to old material. But I'm quite tempted to relearn my old bit just to give it a swan song because, like, it was my closer for like nearly 2 years, and like I kind of want to give it a send off because I didn't get to do it like a last time. So, and like just the feeling of starting it just felt like going up a roller coaster when you're just like setting it up, and you know that you've got after like for that bit it was 7 minutes, and I knew that it was like bulletproof. So it'd be like setting it up and then just going. Just that feeling of cresting it when you drop the first punchline of the bit just is amazing. Like, and just knowing that when they're laughing and you've got the bigger punch to come. Oh.
Yeah.
I feel like when you come back, I mean, a new 20 is definitely something. I don't even think I want to just kind of gauge the rooms because I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say.
This is the thing.
We talk about Brexit.
We don't know how people are going to feel at this point. It might be like, you remember that how, for me anyway, it felt like there was this kind of culture going towards you have to sort of say stuff without saying it. Do you know what I mean? If you said anything, people go like, oh no, that's an opinion. That's too like, they kind of pull back a bit.
Yeah.
But now, I wonder if when we go back, it might be a thing of just say some fucking horrible shit and people just be grateful that it's not anything in their own heads. Like, I don't know what it's going to be like.
Yeah, I think like I think for me, I think the trend will continue that like saying like people. I really get pissed off with people who aren't really proper comics who go on about how they can't say anything anymore because the more like prurient society seems to be online or whatever, and like the more like censorious or whatever, and the more sensitive people appear, the funnier saying horrible shit becomes. And like like that's how my comedy operates. Like the more sensitive like mainstream society is, the fucking better for me, because I'm not talking to them, and like, I'm talking to the people in the room who are going to find it funny because we've built a shared joke. And like, so yeah, I think it's going to be a really fucking interesting, fertile time, and like, I just can't wait to hit I want to hit the ground hard with it, and just like, I'll be at every open mic within fucking 50 miles for the first month.
It'll be a good time as well in sense of getting your online content up, because people are going to be more interested in what people are saying in terms of right now, as opposed to like scripted stuff that comes on once a year. Do you know what I mean? So like, even the way TV is going to be done now is going to have to change. You know, you can't have the same formats now because everything's changed so much. You know, people are watching things so different now. So it'll be interesting to see how, you know, what shows come out on TV, you know, stand-up shows and stuff like that. It'll be interesting to see what the industry does.
There'll be a lot more reality stuff. That's what I think. I think there's going to be so much more reality stuff with people rebuilding their lives post-COVID.
Well, you know what? Edinburgh's going to be packed next year, and you don't even need to have a theme. Just say my lockdown experience, and that's an hour right there.
Yeah, so I'm going to put on my flyer 0 COVID jokes. Right, and like I genuinely I will mention it in the setup to things, but I'm not doing lockdown material after this. And like, I think that's going to be my, you know, when they zig, I zag. It's like everyone's going to be doing their lockdown story next year, and I think it's going to be boring as fuck. So I'm just going to do some fucking jokes.
The thing is, the smart person, I mean, I guess the smart comic will just observe, because if you think about it, we're not in lockdown anymore.
Yeah,
it was a past experience. So how you equate the past experience to the future settings is what I guess will make you stand out.
Yeah, maybe.
Because we forgot about Brexit. That's a throwback now. When I do my opening joke, and that was a Brexit route, you know, I'm like, remember Brexit? That's like a throwback.
But it feel weird. It feel really weird. Like, you've got to move with the times and be on with it. And like, I think it's going to be there's going to be a generational split in comedy between like those people who want to cling on to their old routines and the people who just want to, I don't know, be alive as a comic. I just think it's like, you've got to relearn that material if you're going to start doing it again. You can't just do it. Like, I can't. I would have to watch myself do that comedy in order to learn it again, and then go and do it a load of times at gigs to get it sharp again. Like, it's not a process of just starting it again. So like, why don't I just take an idea and do the same shit with it, and then just have a new bit and be relevant? I don't know, people get so scared of saying new stuff on stage, but like, they fucking did it once, these people. Like, you've learned you've done it before, you've written 20 minutes before, right? Just because it was in 1993 doesn't mean you can't start again now. And like, I would encourage them to do that, because it's embarrassing.
You can't become a better comic. You can't become a better comic if you don't take the risks, man.
Exactly. And you always will be better. Risk. Like, you know, are either of you two, like, there's always the newest stuff you've written you think is the best stuff you've ever written, because it is, because you get better at comedy. So like,
it is. It's smarter. It's quicker. Yeah, it's always better. But like, have you been writing material on during lockdown? Because I ain't been writing shit.
Who's writing? What's the point in writing when you can't even perform it?
Yep, and exactly. You don't know what the world's going to fucking be when we come out of it. Like, you know, we write, like, I think we all write in similar ways where it's like quite stage based, and like we explore what we're thinking, and like I can have ideas. Mate, I've got my notes app is full of shit. Like, anytime I have any thought about something that isn't lockdown, it goes in my phone. So like, after this, I know my new Club 20. I know what that's going to be, because I had like 4 or 5 gigs at the end of lockdown where I was already doing this stuff, and I was like, this was going to be my new stuff, and then lockdown happened. So I think a lot of that will come back, because I've only done it a few times, and then we'll see what I say. I don't know.
Yeah, I've had one thought the whole of lockdown, one comedy thought. My only comedy thought was that I thought, let me look at some other languages because I'm bored. I don't know what else to do. And I looked at Arabic, and I found out they have over 100 different words for camel. I thought, that's fucking hilarious. Like, why do you have over 100 words for that? There's 2 words for love and over 100 for camel. I just thought, that's the start of a bit. I'm not going through, like, looking into it, because I'm like, I want there to be that energy when I first look at it.
Exactly.
I mean, I was cooking up some shit before lockdown, man. Like, I can't remember what it is now. I think I was talking about tolerant society, and it was actually coming to be a good bit. And now it's just there. I'm like, oh man, I have to wait for another racist shit to happen, then I'll bring it back to life.
Do you know what I'm pissed about? I'm pissed, yeah, because the Edinburgh that we are missing now, my show was going to be all about privilege and how I was going to do stand-up as myself in different time periods. So like in the 1700s and then the 1800s and then now. Right. And it was going to be some like theatrical thing. And I'm like, this looks like I've fucking done it because of Black Lives Matter now. It looks like and I'm like, that was a good idea before shit kicked off.
What I would say is take it and do it, because like never underestimate how dumb the comedy establishment are. Right? If you want like reviewers to give you a decent review, make it so on the fucking nose, like tattoo Black Lives Matter on your fucking forehead, and they'll be all over it, man. Because like I did a show with subtext a couple of years ago, and not one cunt got it, because like, you know, we're a working class guy with a northern accent, and like that, you know, that stereotyping's only going to be amplified. I'm sorry, lads. I'm sorry to break this to you, but racism's a thing. So like, yeah, I would say take it and run with it, man. Like, take the fucking wind in your sails. Like, take liberal white people finally giving a shit.
No, I'm kind of hoping Edinburgh never comes back.
I know what you mean.
I can't lie. I'm kind of hoping that it's done forever, like a little bit.
Man, they just got a fucking bailout from the government. I think it's disgusting, because it went to the Edinburgh Festival Society. Give it to the fucking venues. Like, whether the Festival Society's there or not doesn't fucking matter. But if you lose, like, the venues, you lose the festival. Like, I'm not interested in going to an Edinburgh Festival that doesn't have Bannermans and fucking Banshee Labyrinth and the Voodoo Rooms and all that shit. Like, that's why you go.
Yeah. I mean, I'm never going back to Edinburgh unless it's like a paid show where I'm doing the assembly and I'm just out. But I don't think I'd ever take a show back up there.
Yeah, like, I think I might. I'm so on the fence next year, because I like how I do the Fringe. Like, I do it like, I don't really engage with the Fringe. I just do my free show, and like I do an hour of stand up that's not an Edinburgh show, and you know, I think I'll make money, and it's a really good way to run a show in. But also, I just don't like endorsing the festival, really, to be honest, in its current form. I think it's fucked in loads of ways, and I do think it needs to die off.
I'm with you. I think it should go. But I kind of...
Or at least contract loads.
Yeah. I sort of have to do Edinburgh because of the theatre writing on the other side. It makes sense that I do it, because then I have an Edinburgh, decent Edinburgh, and then I have a show in the theatre where I can go, I had this thing and then this thing, and it just looks like stuff is continually stacking up. Even though I fucking hate the place.
Yeah, but it's, you know, it's a different career path, isn't it? Like, that's the thing. We're all on a different path depending on which way you're going. And like, yeah, if you make theatre, so yeah, it's doubly important, isn't it? But
I'm aiming for another special, man. That first one gives you a buzz, and there's so much shit that's happened. It's like, yeah, I got another special in me, man. Like, I got some shit to say.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna do that and then hit the streets with it.
Yeah, Rob Mulholland allegations coming next year to YouTube. Like, mate, I'm well with you, but like, I want to do another one, man. Like, putting a special on YouTube was the best decision I've ever fucking made. I love it.
Me too, man. And you know the funny thing, I shot that in November, and I was supposed to put it out like in December, but you know, I just kind of held back and whatever, and it took a while to edit it, and then lockdown happened, and funnily enough, I was one of some of the comics that actually had content to put out.
Yeah, he was sat on a special, man. And I was giving you shit about being slack with getting it out as well. I was like, fucking get it out, man. And then it worked out well.
It worked out really well. Yeah. Like, the clips were like, especially when I dropped the Black Lives Matter, and everyone was like, oh my God, how did you write this? And I was like, well, I foresee the future, you say. No, it was just like nice to have. But like you said, just not even with a lockdown or not, just having that content that's yours, that you can put out there, is something that's, you know, that's inspiring.
It's just cool, man. Like, it's genuinely the thing I'm most proud of, I think, in my life. Like, I always wanted to be a creative person, and like, I finally made something that I'm like, I'm proud of that, and I stand behind that. Because I've put out my previous show. I think it's all right. I think it's got some really good stuff about it, you know, but I think I can do better. That's evidenced by my last one. I was like, I had the show of my life as well on the night. It was just, everything just clicked into place. And I was like, yeah, all right, there we go. I've done it. And yeah, I love that people can just fucking see it. Like, the amount of like, mate, like, I get more views in America than I do in Britain now. So like, I'm going to go do shows in America in the next couple of years, man. And like, that's fucking madness, isn't it? Like, that's just because I spent fucking £700 on a camera crew and editors. That's all you got to do. People spend thousands on Edinburgh. Like, why aren't they invested in that? Come on.
Yeah, and if you're being, I mean, to do an hour show, man, every single year for an arts festival, that's difficult, man. Because you know, My show was like, what, 3 years in the making?
Mine was 2, and like I don't think I can do every year for a fresh hour. So I think what I will do at future Edinburghs is like crowd worky stuff as well. And
the only reason I can even go on now for another show is because I had so much I didn't say in the last show. You know what I mean? So I have stuff that I still want to go on to. It's almost like a volume 2, as opposed to I'm developing something from scratch. So yeah, it's definitely something I'm looking to do another hour, man. Because I learned so many things from the first hour, like this is a production. Because you're such a comic, you just think of going on stage and doing the jokes.
Exactly.
You don't think about camera angles. You don't think about shots. You don't think about.
Yeah. I've got all that mapped for my next one. You're totally right.
Exactly, Rob. You know what I mean? So now I'm like, I'm not just going to be the comic. I'm going to look from a production angle as well.
Yeah, like director as well.
Director, exactly. So I had a director, and I didn't listen to him as much as I should have. I was like, listen, man, I'm the funny guy, dude. But yeah, you have to learn that this is a production, not just this has to look like a movie.
Yeah, that's it, man. Like I've got a style thing I'm like going to stick with where I want like no fat on it. So like my thing is like you're not seeing me walk into the venue, right? You're not seeing loads of shots of the crowd, right? It's going to start, I'm on stage and the camera's on me and that's it for the whole show. Like no crowd cutaways, like just want it, like I like it really just stark and clean and just keeping it simple. It's like how like my favorite specials look. It's just like that, really simple.
Right, yeah, I heard that.
Do you know what I'm doing because I've got 2. I should have put one on YouTube. I was an idiot. I've got both on Next Up.
They're great.
Next Up is good, but I realised YouTube is it's kind of that more personal thing, and you can interact with your fans and blah blah blah. But what I'm going to do for the next one is I'm just going to have loads of random shots of me doing other stuff in life besides comedy, because I just think it will be funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'll just have one of me sitting in a park for a bit, just in between a bit.
That's great. That's it, man.
Works.
Like, yeah. People used to do that. Like, people used to do that in his old specials. They'd cut to just a skit or something like that.
But like,
or just an interview in the city with fans on Interaction. They cut to that.
That's how a special should be. It should reflect like you and your style. Like just because I want a super simple, stripped back, purist sort of thing doesn't mean that's right for everyone. And I love it when people put like their spin on it. Exactly, and like their flavour on it, and like they have their own style. Like Chelsea Peretti's one of the greats on.
Oh, fucking brilliant, man.
Such a good special in it. Like it's one of the ones I'm always like, oh, check this one out, because like her style in that is like it's really surreal and weird, and like her crowd cutaways, there'll be like a clown crying, or like there's like a dog in the audience and a robot,
or a guy with one of them horse heads like laughing his head off.
Yeah. There's just all these weird like surreal touches all the way through it, and like I think that's cool. Like Adam Sandler's like do you see Adam Sandler made a fucking amazing special? Was it like last year?
Yeah.
His was good, man.
Yeah,
didn't expect it, but like the style of that jumping from venue to venue was cool. Like there's all different ways to do it. I think like DIY comics, the jumping from venue to venue thing is a bad idea because you're just giving yourself way more problems. Like I
saw Chris Rock do that on his special. But
Chris Rock's got a different budget, innit?
But I didn't like it from America. Is that
to England, which one? Which one's that? Is that Bring the Pain?
That was Never Scared.
Never Scared. Yeah, I've got that. Like, I've got the DVD of it. It's not the best one, is it?
No, it's because especially because he's jumping from city to. He just didn't really.
Loses the
flow. Some good bars on it. Yeah.
I like seeing the show. I like feeling like I'm there. You know, that's what I love. I
like the old school. Hey man, I like the Brian Regan old school in the club and
mate, Brian Regan's like I Walked on the Moon, where it's just in the club. It's in an improv. And it's amazing.
Hey, he's comic. Hey, that was one comic that I watched and I thought to myself, never gonna get that level.
Mate, he's unreal. Unreal.
But the thing is, I think he's a comedian's comedian, because when you watch him, he's so fucking slick and neat. And
his act outs are better than anyone.
Yeah, you know the funny thing, you try and show them to some friends, and they don't, because they're so used to that. You know, I don't want to say any names, but you know that TV branded special comedy.
Yeah.
They're so used to that they don't even get just the throwaways he does. Like,
man, just like the depth of layers of jokes and stuff,
and that voice he does. Oh yeah. You know, it's just my goodness.
He's just pure funny, man. Like, I started watching his stuff because so many comics on podcasts were like, "This guy's amazing." Basically,
I stumbled on it, bro. Wow. I stumbled on it on YouTube one night when I was comedy hungry, and I figured, let me find someone I've not seen before. Yeah. And I just watched the opening line. It was about show horses. Yeah. Oh, they got a show to do, and I said, okay. And I just ended up watching 5 clips on this guy.
Mate, his boots on the ground joke. Like, what are you saying when you're saying boots on the ground? Are you up in a plane, like, pushing the boots out? There's guys on the floor, like, we can't move for all the boots on the ground.
Yeah. Like, it's the way he simplifies it. He was reading a book to his daughter, and he said he's reading his kids' books, and goes, the dog goes woof, woof. When? Did you hear that, darling? Woof, again, woof. Like, he just acts it out, and you're just creasing.
Mate, I learned loads about act outs from Brian Regan and Norm Macdonald as well. Actually, like
Norm is fucking funny, man. He is fucking. I mean, he's a maniac.
I don't know that.
He is.
Oh, Norm Macdonald, man. Watch his special on Netflix. What's it called? Hitler's Dog or something like that. Mate, his bit about the $64,000 man in that is. It made me cry laughing, and I genuinely studied it for my first show. I watched him do a bit where he's talking to someone on the phone, right? And it's the best I've fucking ever seen. He is a master. Norm's like amazing. So yeah.
No, do you know what I love about him? His stories. Just when he's on like a Conan or something like that, the way he tells a story is so fucking like I'm screaming watching it.
Yeah.
Just because the details he gives, they're so not necessary, but so funny.
That's it, man. He just like peppers little detail. Yeah.
He focused on one story. You know them like Van shoes that have those little waffle things on the bottom? And he was going, and I'm looking at this shoe and there's waffles, and I got hungry and I thought, I want waffles. Man, waffles would be good. And he just did that for about 4 minutes. And I just started, because I'm like, there's no reason for this at all. Why are you telling us all of this? And he's so happy with himself.
Yeah, he gets really delighted when he's really like annoying people. Like, tell you what, if you want a really good 40 minutes, type Norm Macdonald telling sexist jokes into YouTube. Like, it's just his delight at himself while he's telling jokes is something that I just really enjoy.
Patrice O'Neill had a big influence on me when he.
Me too.
The way he was, the way he would explain his jokes, and the facial expressions he would make when he's like,
yeah. Well,
it just really had an impact on my
greatest. Like, I think the bit that blows my mind the most of his is like out of and he is probably my favorite comedian of all time, if pushed. But like my favorite bit is where he like, what's he say? Like he says to women, like if you didn't have, he says to the audience, I'll throw it out to you, right? If you couldn't use your pussy, how would you keep your man, right? And they all shout,
they were like,
blowjobs, anal, and he goes, right. I gave you a chance to say personality, to say, like my confidence.
Tell better stories.
Tell better. And he's just like, and you just reduced yourselves to holes. But it's the throwing it out there, because like I've tried bits like that where I want a response from an audience, and it's a leap of faith, and like it's hard to get right, and like I've done it, but nowhere to near that level where it's just like he just.
But you know what though, Patrice O'Neill's smart, because he talks a lot of smart. And how men want to, whatever, how nasty men are. So when he throws that question, and that audience is automatically thinking of Patrice O'Neill.
Exactly.
And this is what would impress him.
Exactly.
I'll suck his dick, I'll put it in there. And that's when he's able to trick
Exactly,
them.
Yeah. It's technical. Exactly.
It's very
because
technical,
it's not like, obviously, like, women aren't just holes. Like, he's, but like getting that, turning an audience around to that level where you've got that control of them, that's what's amazing about that bit, is that level of like.
Because I reckon if Michael McIntyre opened it, he probably won't say pussy, he'd probably say, if you lost your vaginas, what would you do to entertain your man? This is a very middle class audience. They're probably like, well, go for long walks and
exactly.
They'll follow because of who he is. But when you're a smart comic, you're gonna. I think it's the rappers that said, one of the rappers was like, if you talk about weed in your rap music, you're never gonna pay for weed ever again. Because
why do you think I do the greenhouse, mate?
They're throwing you weed. If you talk about sex in your rap, girls are throwing because they want to see if it's true. If you talk about shooting, you're gonna attract the gangbangers. So I think it's the same with comics, And if you notice, like if a Brian Regan said an F word in his set, it would kill the whole set. Like, oh my, did he just swear?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't swear,
Yeah, I'm very much the opposite of that, man. I can't go 2 seconds without swearing. Like, it's just how I talk. Like, it's
funny. I curse more off stage than I do on stage.
Yeah. I say cunt a lot less frequently on stage. Like, 'cause I'll save it for like once a set, for a bit of impact if I can. But like in day-to-day life, day-to-day life it is for me. Like I use it like
it's such a Caucasian swear word, isn't it? Like, man will say pussy, If a black person calls you a cunt, you'd be like, what?
Yeah, but I use cunt like a black guy would use the N-word. Like, I use it for, like, thing, person, object, that cunt over there. Hey, up, you're like, oh, we'll go see these cunts later. Like, you know, it's like, I need a generic term. I use cunt for that. That's the Yorkshire way. That's what we do.
It's so funny when promoters come up to me and they're like, they don't really like the C word. And I'm just like, I don't use the C word.
I've got a few different ones that might not
Unless you mean crippin', because if you mean crippin', I have to crip on you. Yeah. Well, like, yeah, I don't use the C word. So, yeah.
Well, see, I don't like it when promoters say stuff like that because it makes me say it. As soon as they go, they don't like this, I'm like, well, that's the first thing out of my mouth. That you shouldn't have said, don't say that thing. Because I don't know what it is, but it's just my instinct is to go against what I've been told to do.
Oh, yeah, me too, man. That's a comedian's impulse, isn't it? Like, it's there's a story about Freddy Starr, who was a man of dubious morals, but a comedian to his core, right? I found out a story when he died. So he was out in, like, one of the Emirates, you know, like, he's out in an Arab country, and he's performing for, the top dude. And like before he goes on, and they go, right, there's two rules. You're not allowed to swear, and you're not allowed to address the sheikh directly. All right, that's it. Curtain goes up, and he goes, all right then, which one of you fuckers is the sheikh? Curtain down. And I think that is a comedian, isn't it? Like that's...
When you said he's performing for, like, the top dog, I was thinking, like, Aladdin. But yeah, you know.
What, is he like? He was like a thief. He wasn't in charge of shit.
Yeah, but you know, like, when you're being offensive, you just, you know, like Aladdin, like, or Jafar. But yeah, that's hilarious. Like, when someone, I mean, it's not because I remember I went to Brighton, it was a Junglers gig, and, you know, the booker said to me, you know, no homophobic jokes because, you know, they're very sensitive out there in Brighton. And I was just thinking to myself, this is a Junglers gig. How dare you tell me what to say to a gig that is just crazy anyway,
mate. It's ridiculous.
And I didn't
have a homophobic joke. It was just a joke that could be offensive.
Yeah.
And I do the joke not because I wanted to be offensive or daring. You wanted 20 minutes. I take that joke out. That's 17 minutes. I wasn't flexing with the material like that at that point. You know what I mean? And this is a big bit. So I did the joke. And next thing you know, I get an email complaint from the audience that I did a homophobic joke. I didn't warn you. And I was just like, you warned me. Like,
my favorite story of one of them is, have you heard the story about Felix Dexter in Brixton Prison?
I don't know. Go for it.
I haven't, no.
It's fucking quality. So he went in to do one of them gigs in Brixton Prison, and they tell him, right, don't remind them they're in prison and don't make any gay jokes because obviously they're all highly sensitive. And so the first thing he does is he comes out, he goes, afternoon, batty boys. And then he goes, and I can say that because none of you can follow me home. like, wow.
2 for 2, isn't it?
I think it was Felix Dexter that someone told me that was, but whoever it was that done that is a fucking.
You know the funny thing? It's like, come on, man. Like, you're at a comedy show, man. Like, you tell a comedian,
in a prison, don't say it. They've heard swear words. Like, the most ridiculous one of those I ever had was I was on a music festival on an outdoor stage at about 1 a.m, right, following bands. The bands had been on all day, they'd finished, then they had the stand-up. And I was closing this show. I'm on at about, 1 a.m. And people are stood up and they've been drinking all day. And just before I went on, the promoter was like, Rob, we've been asked to tell you we can't have any more swearing in the show. I was like, what? They go,
you can't have swearing minutes.
They were like, yeah, they've had a complaint. You're not allowed to swear. I went, it's 1 a.m. Like, they're pissed. What you on about? It's a music festival. And he goes, I've just got to ask you not to swear. Within 20 seconds of being on stage, I'd called someone a fucking cunt. Like, I went all in, but, right, there was a bunch of, there was some people I knew there. And, like, when I'd finished, it was, like, this set was chaos. Like, I just about held on, just, like, rolled with it a bit. It was...
Just a second, guys.
Yeah, no worries. I get all the way through it. There's a couple of my mates there at this festival, and they started a chant when I got off for an encore. So, like, I walked off stage. The promoter was like, "Rob, what was that? You swore loads. We're going to get loads of shit." And as that started, the chants for, like, the chants of my name started from outside. I was like, "Sorry, I've got to go back for an encore." So, like, I went back on stage, did an encore. Even though the gig was shit, I was, like, fucking cruising. And then, came off, and promoter didn't say anything more to me. It's like, it was fucking beautiful, like, to just have this undeserved encore to just really, like, make a point for me. I think I've only ever got one that I feel was like, yeah, I earned that one. I've had a couple out of spite. Like, I got encored at a gig once, genuinely. I was opening. They found out that I had, the MC, who's my mate, told the gig that I had another gig to get to. So they encored me to make me late.
That's hilarious.
Funny, man. Like the Old Monkey in Manchester, that was Trapdoor Comedy. They made badges that the regulars all have that say "We encore out of spite" after that incident.
What's the name of the Martin thingy gig? Funny Monkey.
Oh, Monkey Business.
Hey, you think if he opens up again, you take that gig too?
No fucking way.
At this point, you're doing any gig. Any gig.
Have I told you the thing that happened that he said to me the last time I gigged for him? Let me tell you this, right? He calls me, this is a couple years ago now. He calls me, he goes, "Archie, you available on Saturday to come close Monkey Business?" I went, I was doing like my first double ever. So I was like, you know what, I'm doubling. I don't think I can get there. And he goes, "I'm going to cut to the chase. I wanted to come and close because we had Marlon Davis. He had to drop out. You're both black. You talk about the same thing. So I figured I'd ask you." Right. And I was so blown away that he said it that I fucking agreed to it because I was just so amazed.
The audacity.
Yeah, I was just like, I can't believe he's asked me that. And then when I got there, he spent a good 5 minutes there was one black dude in the gig and he pointed at me and went, "You're black?" And the guy went, "Yeah." And he goes, "Big black cock," and then just stares at him for like 30 seconds and makes more of those jokes. And then he introduced me as Nathan Caton.
Wow.
Fucking hell, that's Full House, isn't it? That's bingo. On the racist bingo card, you've ticked fucking all of them, innit?
I could not believe what was happening. And from then, I'm like, I'm not gigging for my man again.
That's
that's nuts.
If you wrote that in a script, people would be like, "That's too on the nose." Like...
I know. The thing is, I can't even tell that story on stage because I'll be like, "Nah, that's too perfect." So
yeah. Not all three of those happened in one. Oh, very nice rule of three.
Exactly. Fuck it. I mean, more stuff happens, but those are the things I remember. But
my favorite ones.
That's one of the few ones.
My favorite one's when I'm walking through the crowd and people start nodding at me, and I just got to the show, so I start texting all the black comics. "Oh, so who performed tonight, man?" I'm getting all this extra love from nothing, you know.
Yeah, like, I've definitely seen that happen. Yeah, multiple times. Just
like, who's performed then? What did you fucking say? So I know how to avoid it.
It's terrible because I get it, and I'm like, yo, I'm like 5 shades lighter than another.
You're like so fucking cappuccino, man.
Everyone, everyone gets mistaken for Nathan Caton. Everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone gets, even when he had plaits, we always get the Nathan Caton.
Yeah. The
worst one I've ever been mistaken for is, Emmanuel Sonobi.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot. He's like 10 sizes more than you.
Exactly. I'm like,
Emmanuel's fucking large.
Yeah. I look like the lesser evolved version of him in Pokemon. Like,
you're the fucking Squirtle.
I'm confused. Yeah, exactly. My man's Blastoise, and I'm just here fucking sitting about. I can't. What do some people see?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Like, I have seen it happen to white people sometimes, but obviously way less frequently. But like, I just think they're not paying any fucking attention.
He actually looks like that person.
Yeah, there is always that, and it's never like me being confused for someone who's 3 foot tall. Like, definitely someone else with glasses.
Confused with someone I look like the comedian Trix.
I don't actually. I don't know.
Yeah, Trix. Yeah, everybody thinks we're twins, isn't it? Like, people, I have black people messaging me saying, "Hey, you're twins here, innit?"
Yeah.
So I see him and I get the resent. But when it's Dane Baptiste, I'm like, I don't look like Dane.
Yeah, you don't look like Dane. Like, that's it about like with white people making comparisons of like, "Oh, have you seen who this looks like?" You've got to be fucking careful, right? I would say double check to make sure they actually look alike.
There's a height thing. There's a shade thing.
Yeah. Like
my favorite is when a white person tries to point out someone without saying their race, and they'll be the only black person in the building.
I know, right.
I let them go with it. I let them run with it. Keep going.
Yeah, it's this I don't know the experience of it, but I find more annoying super I can only imagine for you. How do you feel about super right on trying too hard white people? They annoy me the fucking
I think it's worse.
It's patronising, isn't it?
I've had white people jump in my DMs.
Going, how can I learn?
How can I help? I was like, you can send me some money because
I'll have some fucking reparations.
It's a pandemic right now.
With the Black Lives Matter thing, the amount of well-meaning people that I know, because the thing is, I can't be angry because they are well-meaning.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I'm like, why do you have to ask me? Just fucking go on the internet. Like,
why does someone have to die?
Yeah,
for you to be
this is it, man. It's been really obvious who's got no black friends.
I'm just pissed we're in the lockdown because I figured we'd all be on TV by now. I don't know, Mock the Week, they had 10 cats.
Hey, it's going to be a golden time for you guys after this. There's going to be a lot of guilty white people.
Yeah, man.
Fingers crossed. It's about time, isn't it? But mate, I was in the park the other day with a group of friends who were very, very right on all vegan nose piercings, blue hair, and they started talking about how they can be better. And it was excruciating, because they're trying so hard. Was that
conversation? Was it just amongst white people?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the worst. When they're like, this is what we need to do. I'm like, yo, just at the same time, I don't want you to ask, but at the same time, fucking ask. Don't just say, don't just make up what.
Yeah, because you know what? When you don't ask, you have shit like taking down Gone with the Wind happening.
Yeah, but that isn't because
no one asked us about that. No one asked us about. We like 40 Towers too. No one asked us about this shit.
It was just a couple of TV producers, and they are exactly these people. But we know what people who work in TV are like. They are those sort of liberal middle class white people who they don't interact with normal people. They don't know what the world is like, so they just make these fucking stupid decisions to go, oh, I don't want to be racist. Am I being racist by putting this film up? No,
you know the funny thing,
you're being racist because you haven't hired a black person in 4 years.
I'm not even trying to boast, but I'm around black people a lot.
Sometimes in your own house.
Yeah, you're right. And there's never a time whereby the barbecue or whatever it is we're doing, I'm like, hey, I watched Gone with the Wind for the 7th time yesterday. It's like we're not discussing. The film's 4 hours long.
Yeah.
I want to watch it long enough to see the racism.
Mate, no one's getting radicalized by watching a 60-year-old sitcom. No one's watching.
Made in 1913.
This is it, man. It's done all the radicalizing it's gonna do.
Do you know how hard it is to get youngsters to listen to Tupac today? Do you know what I mean? They're like, oh, minute, Tupac, really? Isn't that 96? Tell them to watch Gone with the Wind. They're like, oh, you're taking a piss, blood.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I can't even get my black family to watch one sitcom to sit through 20 minutes without talking. I can't get that. There's no way.
Right.
There's no way Gone with the Wind.
We're having debates, Ruben. Yeah, for the first 10 minutes. A 4-hour movie. Come on, bro. Yeah. We didn't even know it was a film until the other day.
That movie will take a month to watch for a family. There's no way.
And by the time you finish it, you're too tired to discuss the rest. I'm just glad we got to the end of that shit.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it is painfully obvious, and look,
all these people coming out to apologize for what they did.
I take responsibility. I thought Keith Lemon
was going to apologize for Through the Keyhole. I thought that's what he was apologizing for. Or Celebrity Juice.
I know,
that's
man.
An apology.
Look, right. The thing with Bo Selector was I do totally get here's a perspective on it that I think is bad. Why it wasn't great when it was on. I was a big fan, or my friends were, as young white teenagers in the north of England. But one of the big catchphrases is Trisha Goddard just saying rice and pea.
Rice and pea. Do you know what?
And that was a thing that we would say.
That.
Yeah,
I can't lie. I used to watch that when, come along, John, sing along with me. When I say it still makes me laugh.
It is funny. That's the problem.
I think the reason why it might, I guess, come across offensive is because, like you said, you're a guy from Yorkshire, right?
Well, I'm from a white town,
right? Because there's
Tipex
no
white.
black people around. The first time I come to your town, you might feel to drop the rice and peas on me. And I'd just be like, what the fuck?
I'll be honest, mate. If you ever came to my hometown, that would be the least of my fucking worries. I'd be spending a lot of the day going, he's got a good heart, or he's just thick.
And that's why, but for me, I never really watched Pro Selector because it wasn't my thing. But it's that it does go from that, you know, if you don't know black people, that could be your only benchmark.
This is it, man.
And that's what you don't want.
I actually saw like a really interesting thread on Twitter of someone who's doing their PhD on the Fresh Prince, right, and its cultural influence. And it was a really deep dive into like its significance. And he was talking about how how the family is presented and how complex the characters are. And genuinely, for me, it was culture was my experience of people who weren't white. Like that was it. It was through TV and it was through movies and it was through music. And the Fresh Prince was a really important part of that because it was just like it was a middle class family, you know. But you also saw the working class side as well. You saw complex people. They weren't like in any way they weren't like just. It wasn't. Race was there and it was brought up and explained in a really way that I could understand at the time. Right, and there was issues of racism brought up constantly in it and presented in a really good way. So I genuinely think it was a really important thing for a lot of people.
Do you know what was great about Fresh Prince, which sadly, we've never really had that show over here, is it was just black people existing and not being black. It was
That's
just
what
people.
I was trying to, yeah.
And that was what kind of made it this trend-setting
every TV show we had to kind of show a different narrative to what everyone...
I know.
Other than crime, basically, because it had to show, look, we don't all do crime. And then, you know what the thing is, though, Archie, though? When you now put the cool black family, everyone's like, people are cool. We're not all cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's some dorks in our crime.
Exactly. Carlton's a really important character.
Right, because he's the geeky black person.
Exactly.
Because to be honest, there's more of those kids in my family than there are cool kids.
Right.
Like, some of my cousins are the biggest neeks I've ever met. Like, if I was in school with my cousins, I would rob my cousins. That's how deep it is.
You know the funny thing, Archie, though? And you know when you go to like the work do, and you're the black guy there, and everyone thinks, oh, you must be able to dance. And, you know, you do your best if you're a black person, and they're giving you so much praise. You know in your heart, if I did this around black people, man, they'll kick me out the club.
Yeah. This is why I never try. If there's an all-white club and there's one black guy in the middle just going mental, I'm like, nah, man, I don't trust this, bro.
You know what? Yeah, this guy he's saying to himself, I mean, if I did this in a black club, I'll get thrown. I'm living my best life right now.
Yeah,
you know, you gotta let him live.
You see Ministry of Sound doing body popping and shit, and it's terrible.
I've been to black clubs where
Tottenham do it.
I've been to black clubs where they tap you on the shoulder. Hey, black, stop that.
Yeah.
When I go, it's simple two-step. It's simple two-step. If I start breaking out some next moves, literally, next man will come do a flip in front of me. I'll be like,
I always keep it simple, man. Especially in like black clubs, I kept it fucking simple. Like I was like,
You know what, Rob?
Like you could get away with some outrageous shit if you're the only white guy in a black club. You could get away with outrageous stuff.
Listen, Rob. Listen,
I've not pushed it yet. I need to try.
When I moved to Canada, I had three white friends. I was the only black guy in the crew.
Yeah.
Now, for the first few months, we were going to like rock bars and shit like that. Now, I said to them, I need to have some bass in my life, okay? I'm tired of the karaoke nights. We're going to a hip-hop club. Now, I found a club in Vancouver that was hip-hop, okay? DJs were coming down from New York. It sounded like it was dope. It was called Daddy-O's. I figured this is for us. I tell the guys we're going to Daddy-O's. They panic. Oh, we can't go there. A couple months back, there was a shooting at the club. I was like, this is why we need to go to Daddy-O's.
This is where it's going to be good.
This is what the club is about. We get to Daddy-O's. They showed up like I told them we were going camping. They had like, you know, the nice little white sandals on. I'm like, oh my God, I'm with dogs tonight. They get into the club, get some drinks, and charge. They can't dance for their life. They charge straight to the dance floor, doing the weirdest moves to don't make it want to jump. And they're just doing what they want. The whole black crowd is just egging them on, patting them, showing them love. I'm in the back like, if I did that shit, they'd carry me out.
Man, you even get white privilege in a black club.
Do you know what I mean? I can't even get, I hated them they came out, I had the time of my life. Oh, really? Did you?
Do you know what it is, though? Do you know what it is? It's like if you're white, you go into a black club and you're just comfortable being white. It's appreciated.
It's appreciated.
You're not trying to be like, yeah, bruv, yeah, you know, like trying to.
When you're being forced, it's like, get out of here.
Yeah.
If you're
and
goofy,
you're
why?
This dance to hip hop.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah.
This is not how we dance from. What's this? Like,
yeah,
dancing like a middle-aged comedian impersonating their kids, or like, you know.
The less rhythm you have in a black club, the more love you would get as a white person.
Yeah,
because they're like, he's fucking trying.
Like, yeah, he's feeling it. He's expressing himself.
Leave him alone. He's doing the best he can.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You just get that benefit of the doubt, innit?
He's not hurting nobody, guys. Let him be.
No, he seems like he's one of the alright ones. Let him go. Yeah.
That's for a black person. Like, you should know better. That's for a black person. Actually, you should know better, bro. You should know better. You should know how to do the two-step shoulder, bro.
Oh god!
Right, that has fucking cracked me. You know, we've done like fucking an hour and 20 already. You know, we should probably wrap this up at some point, innit? Yeah. Like, guys, this has been.
I've got a double.
Yeah, got another podcast to get to, guys.
Hey, canceling on Zoom has to be the most depressing thing for like a promoter. I know you're at home, bro.
Yeah, like, mate, like doing this, like, I've had a lot of cancellations where, like, during lockdown, some of the excuses I fucking got where it's like, just, right, respect me enough to say you don't want to do it. I don't give a shit. If someone's just like, I'm just not feeling it, like, that's the end of the conversation. I'm like, cool, I'll get you back on. I don't give a fuck. Like, you know, I'm not precious. Dane was meant to be on today. He's hungover. That's why he's not here. You know, I didn't give a shit. Like,
it's just funny how comics are still using like excuses, you know, to cancel gigs. You just still doing it on Zoom,
mate. I had one week where 5 people forgot and went on a walk. Like, because the walk was the only thing you did that day. So, like, it was at that point. So everyone was using that as their excuse. Fuck off. Just say you don't want to do it. Don't give a shit. But
that being said, I do need to go for a walk now.
Yeah, man. Before we go though, like, plug your shit. Like, you've had your handle on the. I put your Twitter handle on the screen. But before you go, like, anything you want to plug, take a turn. We'll start with you, Archie. Tell them about yourself, mate.
I ain't got fucking nothing to plug. Follow me if you want. I ain't got shit. My life is over since lockdown.
What you get the most followers now? Oh, shall I follow this guy?
This sort of anti-marketing. Yeah, don't even bother. Couldn't give a fuck.
Yeah. Fuck my fans. Oh, shit.
Oh, by the way,
I have some stuff coming out next year, maybe. If some stuff that's been filmed that I don't even know if it's going to be finished. But yeah, maybe next year. Follow me for then.
Nice. But do follow Archie on Twitter, because he's on currently on a one-man crusade of telling every single racist on Twitter to suck their mums, and it's actually it's genuinely impressive, the level of dedication. Mate, it's fucking impressive. Like, when it started off, I was like, I saw the first couple and I was like, don't feed the trolls. I was like, you shouldn't bother doing that. I'll only encourage them. And like, it's just become such a doggedly impressive thing, mate. I think it's fucking incredible. Well done, you.
I'm not giving it up. I
know you're not, man.
I know they'll think they've won, and I'm not letting them.
No, they never will. And like, yeah, I know it's genuinely incredible. So yeah, like, I'll enjoy watching that some more. Like, yeah. Also, yeah, I agree. Their mums should be sucked. Funmbi, tell them about yourself, mate. Plug all your shit.
Yeah, man. Check my special out on YouTube, Black and British.
It's dead funny, man. Dead
almost
funny.
A month now, so yeah, I'm really pleased. Go watch that. Watch out for more content. I've got some stuff dropping. Should be next week. So yeah, check out for more content. Keep supporting the greenhouse, man, because this is what it's about. It's kept us busy, man. So yeah, keep supporting the show too.
Yes, nice one. I agree with all that, especially the last bit. I've got another podcast. It's called Rob Mulholland Has an Opinion. Oh, you've got a hand up, Archie.
Yeah. No, I thought of something I can plug. I have these shows on Next Up. On nextupcomedy.com. If you sign up for a month, you get a month's free trial, and if you sign up for a year, then I get like £20 or something. So do that. So I can't afford food anymore, so do it.
Yeah, do that. And like, Next Up's got if you like one of my old shows on there, and loads of great comedy, so it's well worth signing up and having a look. They're good people at Next Up, so yeah, give them a go. I've got another podcast. Yes, Rob Mulholland Has an Opinion. That is available wherever you get podcasts and on my YouTube channel. This will be every Monday at 4:20. Next week, I've got Scott Bennett, Rialina, and who have I forgotten? Someone else. It'll be Brennan Reese. That's what I'm doing. Friday nights at 9 p.m. I've got the Rowe Show on Hot Water Comedy's pages. It's fucking dead good fun. Basically, you send in photos or come on a live chat with us, and we're fucking awful about you. So come have a watch of that. That's a right good laugh. What else have I got to plug? Oh, yeah, my Patreon is patreon.com/Rob Mulholland. If you want to support me to make more things, you can donate a one-off to paypal.me/popcomrob. Basically, I don't have an income, so if you want to pay me, please do. My special's called Too Big to Fail. There'll be a link to that around here somewhere. But in the meantime, I'll be back again next week, 420. Guys, this has been fucking ace. Come back on anytime. It's been dead good to chat.
Whenever you want, bro.
It's been awesome. Right, this has been The Greenhouse. See you later.